Guess what? I'm married. Yes, I'm married. I'm now somebody's wife. I'm now Mrs. Titi Lokwe Okparinde. I know that it's been a while I've done a personal video, most of them professional, but I try as much as possible that whenever I maybe experience something, I want to share the some things that you might be able to benefit from based on my experience. Of course, the wedding happened some weeks ago, and I was just compiling things that can save you save you some coins as you plan your wedding. So if you're watching this video, you most likely want it. So I'm here to share with you some of the things that I feel will be very helpful to you. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. My traditional wedding was extremely beautiful. I did just court wedding and traditional wedding. So if you're going to be doing multiple, if you're going to be doing others, maybe church wedding and all of the other things, I did not do what they call it, after party as well. The tips I'll be giving to you will be things that will cut across any kind of wedding that you want to work with. But just so you know that the more events you have with your wedding, the more expensive it's going to be. And so also bearing in mind that wedding generally is very expensive, except you're doing it within the confines of a home. If you're going to be using a hall, just get ready, it's going to be expensive. And so, but even with the fact that it's expensive, let's just say you can still cut corners around it. How can you do that? The first point would be when you want to purchase some of your wedding items, try as much as possible to get things from your location. For instance, I'm in Abuja. My court wedding was in Abuja. Most of the things I needed to do to get, actually, I eventually sourced from Lagos. Assuming that I took my time to sort of search more. Okay, probably because it was way more expensive in Abuja than Lagos. But if you still find something relatively within a good range within your location, it's preferable to buy within your location, because if I was to sit down and calculate the amount I spent on delivery fee for the wedding period, I'm sure it would run into a lot of thousands. And so one way to reduce that cost is to try to buy or source for your items within your location. Another point would be patience. I know it sounds like patience. Yeah, patience. Because I mean, these days, social media or Instagram, TikTok, social media platforms, they sort of study your behavior, how you interact with, what kind of content you interact with, and they based on some things you also search, and they bring like suggestions to you based on the things that you give to you search on the platform. And so, for instance, I was looking for souvenir to get, and I saw this, they call it resin, I think. So I needed like a resin key that I could add to my souvenir, to the souvenir that we wanted to do. And so I searched for resins in Abuja and in Lagos, and I got a lot. And I DM'd a lot of people, and the prices I was seeing, I was like, I can still get for a lower price. So I was waiting and waiting and waiting. And so there's a way Instagram will push out, based on what you search, Instagram will bring out more options for you. I saw like a sponsored post where they were doing like it was a promo, and I was able to save like 20,000 naira extra, and I was able to get it without paying for delivery fee. So as much as possible, when you are trying to search for the things you want, especially on social media, try as much as possible to be very patient and explore all the options that you can see before you eventually make a decision. That would also lead to the point of DM as many vendors as possible. Yes, DM as many vendors as possible so that you can be able to compare prices. For instance, I had to do like DM a lot of makeup artists rather, in Ikeja to like find out options and all that. So that's helped a lot. So I was really patient and eventually saw another makeup artist within the location that I was in my wedding, and I was able to get a very good deal for it. So be very, very patient with trying to get your vendors or trying to get your items, but that would mean that you have to plan ahead. Another thing which will also which is also like based on what I've previously mentioned, is try as much as possible to DM the vendors that you can. As much as possible, DM plenty vendors. I DM'd for everything I needed to get. I was sleeping on TikTok and Instagram, and I DM'd so many of them, so many vendors on it. Maybe if I want to get like a bridal fan or something, like I DM so many, then I compare prices and then pick the one that is affordable and still of great quality. Another point would be that you should search for bridal promos. The thing is, again, like I said, I sleep on Instagram and TikTok, and so like for instance, when I was searching for makeup, and I'm so grateful that I made use of her. I think it's Instagram handle is late, so I'll leave it late while face makeup, something like that. So I went on Instagram and I searched for bridal makeup artists in Ikeja, then I put promo, and so it brought out a lot of vendors. Eventually I saw like different promo packages, bridal promo packages. I think I saw like 5 of them or 6 of them, and then I was able to chat with them. I saw their prices. As I seen that okay, it was promo, because some people can do promo maybe because they want visibility, and maybe because depending on the kind of like how good their work is, you also have to check that. And as well, when I was trying to narrow it down based on my budget, I was able to eventually, when I narrowed it down to like 2, I then 2 or 1, I can't remember now. I then DM'd people who have patronized them before, because they usually sometimes will tag based on the videos on their platform, they will tag the people that have patronized them before. So I went to the DMs. I think I chatted like 6 or 7 people. A lot of them were able to vouch for her work, and so that was another way. So make use of bridal promos a lot. It helps. Like they usually do like sponsored posts, so you would see bridal promos for any particular service you want for yourself. Another point would be that you should buy, I think this one is a no-brainer, buy from wholesale vendors, especially when you're buying things in bulk. For instance, the souvenir my mom and I got, and even the ones my husband and I did by ourselves. I reached out to vendors that sell in bulk. It reduces the cost price, of course, and it's a lot cost friendly for you. Another very important, I think I should have led with this, but another very important consideration to save money while you're preparing for your wedding is to look out for event planning or planning companies. Now they have these packages that they do where they have some vendors that they can trust or that they've worked with, and they sort of produce like a package. So for instance, we have event companies that would they include in a package the hall, price for hall, decoration, photography, videography, cake, food, drinks, bouncers, ushers. Then they put it into a lump sum package. You should look out for event companies in that regard. If you need that, reach out to me privately, however you can reach out to me. So they provide all of these packages. They would already have their vendors, and if you go compare with normal market price, it is way cheaper than what you will find in the market. So I would advise that you make use of such packages to help you cut costs drastically. Another point would be, particularly for the brides, and there's this trend of, if you're trying to save a lot of money, there's this trend of your reception dress being, heavily beaded, and you're unable to even wear it like much after the event. I did not do that. I just went to I saw a ready-to-wear brand in Lagos, and I saw this gown and I fell in love with the gown. It was a cord lace. You would see a picture of it. It was a cord lace, and I sent it to my friend and she was like, oh, my brother stylist. And she was like, wow, this gown is really amazing, and it costs way less than it was way less than 100,000 naira. Way less. I'm not mentioning specific amount. And that was it, and I can still very much get this dress. For a wedding reception dress, you do not have to go and pay 300,000, 200,000 and above for a reception dress. You can easily just get from a very good ready-to-wear brand or made to order brand, and you get even really good outfits. Another point would be choosing vendors within your location. When I was trying to explain it earlier, I didn't specifically state how exactly. What I mean is, for instance, I had a traditional wedding in Ikeja, so it made sense that I had to pick or search for makeup artists or hairstylists in Ikeja. The more you are picking people outside of that location, the more you would pay for their service, because you have to also add logistics as well, or possibly also book a room for them. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to book a room for them because it was within my location. And so that is another way for you to cut costs. Cut costs by choosing vendors within the location of your event. Another point would be that you don't have to tell them that you are a bride. It seems controversial, and it depends. For my makeup artist, of course, she knew that I was a bride, and because it was based on a bridal promo. But for my hair, I went a day before, like I did a frontal installation, so I went a day before and told her to use pins to secure the curls, and that was it. And so when I did the first look was supposed to be my traditional wear with ashoke, so the gele stylist just shifted it to the back and fixed my gele. And when it was time for the reception outfit, I went back, removed the pins, did a bit of, my friends helped out with removing the pins and styling it well, and that was it. So you don't necessarily, or if you're going to do your nails, you're telling them, oh, my wedding is coming, they would of course want to increase the price. So why would you be telling every vendor that you're doing your wedding? You're of course going to have to pay more. Actually, I don't understand the culture of doing that, but that is one way to save money, by not telling them that you're the bride or you're doing an occasion, so that when they see it, fine. If you want me to tag you, I will tag you, but if it's only if it is necessary. For instance, my makeup artist and my gele stylist, those are the only two vendors that I needed that day, and that was it. My last point would be choose a weekday wedding. We didn't even have the luxury actually of choosing a weekend wedding, because we December period and almost all halls are booked for the weekend. So we chose a day that we wanted for ourselves, and it was a weekday. And sometimes vendors give cheaper prices because it's a weekday and people don't really do things and do like ceremonial events on a weekday. So it just makes sense that you should explore a weekday wedding. And then also it will help your guest size as well. We just dealt with like 100 guests, and that was able to limit the number of people that were coming because we wanted something small. And so because people are at work, some people might not be able to shop, some might not be able to travel, and so it just made sense that it just helps with the whole flow. So another thing to consider is probably just choosing a weekday to do your wedding if that is what you want. So I hope these few points or these points are able to help you when you're planning your wedding, and I really pray for grace and patience as you navigate this journey, because I know that it is not easy. And whenever again I have any other personal tips to share, I'll be here to share that with you. And if you have any further questions, please let me know in the comment section. I'm trying as much as possible to make it a part 2. I don't want to make it 2 parts, so I just want to say this once and for all, because I don't want to start editing videos over and again. And so yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like, and also subscribe if you're a journalist for other AI content I'll be producing and any other content you think will be useful that will be coming from me in the future. Thank you from Mrs. Titilope Okwarinde. See you in the next video. Bye bye.